He died? Oh, he died, Chad. Charlie Kirk died. Yeah, he passed away. Man. That's sad, bro.
I saw Amanda Seales claim that she can't have empathy for Charlie Kirk because he wasn't empathetic. And to that woman, I say, you are the problem. Radicals like you are the problem. People, any one of you, anyone, I don't care who you are, that glorifies the unaliving and the snatching away of Charlie Kirk from us this early is insane. There were a lot of things Charlie Kirk said that I flat out disagree with. I disagreed with him on Martin Luther King. I disagreed with him about the Tuskegee Airmen. I disagreed with him about a lot. But the thing that Charlie was doing, that a lot of y'all are incapable of doing, is having debates, having open dialogue. And I do believe if you could prove Charlie wrong in a debate with facts and figures, I believe he would have changed his mind. Above all else, that man was somebody's daddy. That man was he is the daddy of 2 children, 1 and 3 years old. He's somebody's husband. They had to watch their father get taken away. And you know what's so funny? This is the part no one wants to admit. Well, you're going to soon realize it. Charlie Kirk has just become a different version of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. He's just become a modern version of that. You know why? Because he literally gave his life doing what he loved to do, which is to have dialogues and to do something that has not been done before in mass. And guess what? I'm going to tell you this. No one has said this yet, but I'm going to tell you this. The way that Charlie Kirk's base is going to galvanize politically now after this event has happened, this man has become more powerful in his death than he even was in his life. Mark my words. So to all you radicals, you're about to see how radically different the United States of America is about to look, because you have just awoken a sleeping giant. I told you the red wave was already coming under Trump, but this nonsense, this shit y'all have pulled now, you're about to see a political revolution of this country, the likes of which we have never seen before. Period, point blank, end of story. What happened to Charlie was bullshit, and it shouldn't have happened. That was a professional job, and when the bastard that did it is caught, I pray that the swiftest justice is delivered to that sycophant. And the only person that could ever try to have mercy on his soul is God himself.
We don't serve the same God. You don't serve the same God as me. Anytime you can get online and celebrate the death of a man who gave his unsolicited opinion just like you do. To fix your mouth and make jokes about this man losing his life. This man was a husband. This man was a father. But to sit up and laugh and make jokes about it when you do exactly the same thing that he does, which is give your unsolicited opinion that nobody asked you for, there's somebody out there that don't like you either. There's somebody out there that don't like your opinions. There's somebody out there who would do the very same thing to you. So to sit up and laugh at somebody who only gave their opinion, regardless of if you agree with it or not, thinking that it's okay for somebody to take that person's life and sit up and laugh about that, you don't serve the same God that I serve. A lot of y'all wonder why y'all life is so messed up and why you have the problems that you have. It's because you ain't got no God in you. You don't serve a higher power, and it shows. A lot of y'all are demonic. You have some evil spirits. I never listened to Charlie Kirk like that. I would see his stuff come across my timeline every now and then with his controversial takes, but I've never seen anything that he's personally done to justify somebody doing this to him. There's nothing to justify doing this to this man, regardless if you agree with his opinion or not. My prayers go out to his family. This is just a messed up situation, but it goes to show you just how far people will go when they don't like what you're saying.
I don't know if it's just me, you guys, but is everybody else taking this hard? I can't even go in the house, like, with my family. Like, we had our own crisis. Like, I am taking this hard because Charlie represents he represents so much to the conservative movement. There's not a person they could have took from us that is more important besides maybe Trump or somebody like that. But that's how important that man is and has been. Just the way he died, doing what he loves, getting shot. For what? For what? What did he do? This is supposed to be America. This is not America. This is not the America I grew up in. It's not. The left has turned this into a scary place for people like me and others that just love our country, right? We're doing the best we can to love God, and Charlie was a man of God, man. The AmFest, he cannot be replaced, and they know this. That's why they came after him. That's why he picked Charlie. It's hard for me. I mean, I've never met him. That's how you know when you've impacted the world, when your death makes people who never met you break down like you're your best, like we were sat at the table together. It's a devastating day.
Charlie Kirk is dead. If you're not familiar with Charlie Kirk, he's a very prominent figure in conservative politics and has been for the last 10 years or so. First, I'm going to say praying for his family, and praying for his wife, his children, everyone around him. The second thing I'm going to say, these are really politically radicalizing times, politically polarizing times. Watching someone like Charlie Kirk, a prominent figure in politics, conservative politics, left or right, doesn't matter, getting assassinated in the modern day is something that is very, very disturbing. If you think our society is going to return to this, we're going to get along and we can have a debate, the debate is over. The conversation is ended. And it's clear from an assassination like this that there is no more room for conversations anymore. The other side does not want to have a conversation with you. They want you dead. And this is something that they have written out a long time when they tried to kill the fucking president. I'm going to say this. We do not live in times of peace. We live in times of uncertainty. Well, the one thing we must be certain of, we will not allow people to wipe us away because of what we believe in, because of what we know to be true. We need to hold true to ourselves and not hold back in saying what we believe in, to go forward and continuously push against those who want to wipe us away just because we believe in something different or something greater beyond ourselves.
Charlie Kirk died for voicing his opinion. When I first saw the video, I was like, that is wild. Who is that? I had no idea who Charlie Kirk was, I'll be honest. So I looked him up, and then I realized I've seen videos of this guy. Like, he goes to these events and he debates. He debates politics. He ruffles people's feathers. That's what he does. And before I continue, I just want to say, I already feel as though politics aid to the divide in human beings. It aids to the divide. There's Republicans and there's Democrats. And let's be honest, a lot of Republicans do not like Democrats. A lot of Democrats do not like Republicans. And that is the divide. Well, this incident is far, far worse. Far worse. Because now there is a divide within the divide. So it's just dividing us even more as human race. This is why I hate politics. But anyway, I'm just going to say it. That man did not deserve to die. That man did not deserve to get executed all over the internet. Something we need to realize is that man has a family. Maybe that man felt as though he had to do this to provide for his family. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know if someone is paying him on the side to be the face of all this. You don't know. But regardless of all that, you should never want someone executed for their opinion. Whether they're being paid to do it or maybe that is his opinion. Regardless, you should not want him dead for his opinion. Like I said, I seen him like maybe a year ago on TikTok. I seen something that he said I didn't like. I just kept scrolling. Completely forgot who he was. And another sad part about the whole thing is I know people who are on the other side of this. There are people that I know who are saying good riddance. He deserved it. And I'm just like, bro, but at the same time, it's their opinion. I can't fault them for their opinion. I'm just hoping they eventually see my side of this. I wish that on nobody, man. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Hey, take it how you guys want to take it.
But I'm starting to see that a lot of people on social media are literal monsters. Should we care when he didn't care? How I feel about people getting offed because of their social media opinions has nothing to do with how others feel about it and everything to do with how I feel about it. I don't think that you should get shot for having conservative views on social media. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't some corporate giant. He wasn't affecting your life at all. So I don't care if someone I hate gets assassinated in broad daylight and the video is shared everywhere. I think that that is wrong, me, independently of who the person is. Y'all will get on this fucking app and talk down on the women who cheered on Kevin Samuel's death, but don't think you're doing the same thing to Charlie Kirk, a man with a family. Like, y'all, that's cool shit to y'all? Do y'all really get that mad at people on social media? Are your lives really that miserable? I want you all to know. Unless someone has done something to me in real life, I have never wished death on anybody on social media. People have said wild things to me. People have inboxed me crazy shit. I never wish them to actually die. I understand that the internet is real life.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I definitely cried because, like, we need people like him standing for the gospel and truth. We be so caught up in our lives, but at the end of the day, it's for the gospel. Whatever you gotta do is gonna be for the gospel. Like, I legit got angry. It's like, he definitely got his crown, and we need more people. And I just pray for a revival that's gonna take place in every area, because like Charlie Kirk was somebody standing for the gospel. That's what he was known for. Some people may not like him, may hated him, and that's because he was standing. They hated Jesus. They hated Yeshua because he was standing for righteousness' sake. So people hated him because he was standing for righteousness' sake, and he got his crown in heaven.
I'm heartbroken and devastated at the death of Charlie Kirk for a couple reasons. Number one, I mourn for his wife. I mourn for his children. I mourn for his loved ones. I mourn for all of those that loved him. And as a human who has empathy, regardless of your political views or where you stand on the aisle, right now it's time to mourn with those that are mourning and weep with those that are weeping. And so that is what I'm literally and figuratively doing. When I look into so much of what people love and loved Charlie Kirk for, I'm like, okay, Emmanuel, your empathy is birthed from a belief that no person should die before their time, and absolutely no person should die as a result of gun violence, especially outside of war. But Charlie Kirk, he proudly stated that death by guns is a price we have to pay for our Second Amendment right. I've just been in turmoil all day, and my heart is hurt. It's been heavy. It's been weeping for his family. It's been weeping for his loved ones, and I don't really know the words to share, because the moment I want to share like another senseless death because of a gun and because of gun violence, I'm reminded that some people believe, hey, it's worth it. And Charlie Kirk said, hey, it's worth it. People will die by guns to protect our Second Amendment rights.
People are feeling a sense of euphoria, and people are feeling a sense of relief that it happened. But I think it's really important that, and I keep saying this, that we quell this with a sense of stoic realism, and that this event has changed our political landscape, not for the better. Personal feelings towards him, even you wishing this on him a month ago, yesterday, 3 hours ago. Actualization of the event is the issue. It's not wrong for you to hate his guts. It's wrong for you not to defend his rights. The way that people are talking about this is so gross. Not even like that they don't care that he's gone, but it's like everyone just forgot who he is. Someone's father. What are you talking about? Does that suddenly forego? The issue was not that he was someone's father. The issue wasn't even that he was a person. The issue is that this changes our political landscape and justifies unaliving people for their opinions, even when they are not elected officials with direct control over legislation. We are approaching a societal norm of not being able to tell people what you believe in or become too influential at the threat of being unalived. That's the issue. Not people not caring that he's gone. It's the violence that will ensue. Has set a political precedent of unaliving influential pundits. That's what cares that people hate him. Who cares? Who cares that people were wishing for this to happen? Who cares? It has happened. It has happened, and now all of our rights are at stake. Not even from the administration. There is an agreement that we have within society that I will not infringe upon your rights and you will not infringe upon mine, and I will enforce your rights in exchange for me enforcing your rights, you enforce my rights. If I don't like what you're doing with your rights, the agreement is that I enforce them regardless, because if I stop enforcing your rights because I don't like it, now I have nothing to justify enforcing my rights. There are no real protections from people attacking you or punishing you or executing you for using your First Amendment rights. The only thing that comes after that is jail time or their own execution. But there is no real protection for us. The second we realize that we don't actually have to uphold the contract, everything falls apart. There's no real way for the government to enforce someone not unaliving you for your political stance. No matter how influential you are, there is no real protection from that. There is nothing really stopping anyone from doing so. This is the precedent that this has set. Wishing for something to happen is not the same as it actually happening. Your thoughts are your First Amendment. Your actual actions are not. They're not your right. You don't get to just impose that onto other people. That's why we only prosecute actualized crime when you really do the thing and not a thought crime. Because you can still enforce the right for someone to think whatever they want to think. You can no longer enforce Charlie Kirk's rights. He doesn't have any anymore. It is irreversible.
This one's for the Christians, If you're not a Christian, we love you, but this one's not for you. So Charlie Kirk has been murdered, and there's been a lot of discourse over the last day about it. And one thing that I want to add to the conversation as a Christian, as a therapist, is that we can hold multiple truths at one time. Let's take it from the top. Him being murdered was wrong. Anyone being murdered is wrong. We can hold that. Having compassion for a person's wife and their child because they were murdered is there. We can experience that. We can live that out. We can pray for them. Even reflecting on our own experience, what if it were me? We can live that out. And at the same time, we can hold the truth that a person communicated what is perceived as violent and extremely harmful speech and rhetoric towards populations of people. That some of the things as a black man that Charlie Kirk has said makes me less safe, makes my family less safe, makes people that I care about less safe. And so me personally, I have found that in this entire moment that I am neither hot nor cold, that I am numb and trying to figure out, how do I wade through these waters? And so how do I wade through them? I take it back to God. I take it back to God because he calls me to have compassion, but it's hard to have compassion. It's hard to be compassionate towards a person, an enemy that I have perceived is actively working against me, against people that look like me for merely existing and merely having the imago Dei that you, Lord, have given me. That's hard. It's hard work. It's hard to ask the Lord, why do you call me to compassion? Why do you call me to love when people don't act loving? That's hard work. That's hard work. Jesus modeled it for us, but I am yet a human. It's hard work, but that's what I'm called to do. And so I have had to wrestle with, what does that look like, Lord? What is it? How do I do what you've called me to do? And I'm experiencing real human emotions, numbness to the situation, and have already had a pre-thought about this person, about what they stand for, about what they spew. How do I do that? And I truly think it's okay that I am wrestling with this. And so if you find yourself wrestling with it, it's okay. The key is to give it to the Lord. Because I don't know how to walk it out in my own power. I can only walk it out in his. And I can be honest and not deny that I'm holding multiple things in my hand at the same time. You've called me to compassion. What I saw was terrible. And at the same time, this man has pressed against me and people like me in a way that is extremely insidious, that is extremely violent. And it's not of you, Lord. It's giving evil. And even though I have seen him on pulpits and in Christian spaces claiming you, Lord, your Bible, your word tells me that if we are yours, that we should have some fruits of the Spirit. We should have some fruits of the Spirit. And I didn't see not one single fruit. So, Lord, what am I supposed to do with that? How do I process that? And he may never answer me. He may answer somebody else. So where I am is I'm continuously giving it to the Lord. Continuously giving it to him. I do not eulogize him in a way just because he has passed that is rose-colored just because he's died. And at the same time, nor am I going to celebrate that a man was murdered. That people, period, are murdered. And it's even difficult, let's talk about it, because I know some of the rhetoric that he has said himself has been to advocate for said gun deaths. These are his words, not mine, that we are going to have to endure certain gun deaths in order to protect the Second Amendment. Those are words that he spewed. And so what flesh would like to do is say, well, Lord, them his words. That's what he said. Well, okay. It still doesn't make it right. It doesn't make the act right. And it doesn't make it right that I'm devoid of compassion right now. Even though I understand this is a moment to tap into that. And so you may be struggling with that. I know I am wading through the waters of it. I am too. The goal is to take it back to the Lord because I can't. Now, I don't know about y'all. I can't do that in my own power. I need the Lord to help me in that peace. And I believe that the Lord honors the honesty and transparency with him there are multiple things. The Lord knows. He hears all the things, that we're holding multiple things in our hands. So if you're struggling with it, that's okay. I'm not saying that's okay as a means to dismiss doing the work. But what I am saying is that oftentimes we have to learn how to expand our emotional capacity to hold multiple truths at the same time. That's work we do in therapy. That's work if you want to be a fully well-rounded human that you have to do. And because the Lord has given us all of these emotions and feelings, right? We are the Imago Dei. He has imprinted his likeness on us. I believe that he is okay that we bring it to him. He is asking us to bring those things to him. So bring it to him. If you have not figured out how to wade through the waters, if you find yourself devoid of feelings, if you find yourself gleeful, okay? If you find yourself in any other space outside of the space that the Lord wants us to be, which is to remain the light, which is to remain examples, which is to be honest, okay? Because I think that's key. We shouldn't just glaze over stuff just because a person has passed. We can be honest about how the person stood in the world, and which is to submit our flesh to the Lord, right? So, Lord, Thank you so much, God. Thank you, Father, for who you are, Lord, and thank you for who you always will be, God. Thank you for saving us, and thank you for loving us, Lord. God, our country is in just space out. Our world is in a particular space, God, but you knew it because you were, are, and will forever be, God. And so my ask is that you guide us. My ask, Father, because we can bring all of our petitions to you, is that you would help us, particularly in this moment, your children, to navigate the space, to bring to you, just like I'm bringing to you right now, the weight of what we're feeling, the hardness of what we're feeling, God, the uncomfortableness, the what almost seems like a contradiction in our flesh, to be compassionate and yet knowing and seeing what we've seen from a person, to walk in forgiveness, God, because that's what you've called us to. And it's so hard, Lord. It is hard. It's very, very hard. But you have called us to hard things, and you have given us an example through Christ. And God, I just ask that you would help me personally. You would help me personally walk that out. Not even just with the Carly Church situation, but anybody that needs forgiveness in my life, and I can think of a few. That you would help me and that you would help us in this time to do what you've called us to do the hard things, to defer to your spirit for it, because we can't do it in our flesh, God. Our flesh wants to rile up and say, that's what you get. Our flesh wants to rile up and be cheerful. Our flesh wants to remain numb. But that's not what you're asking us to do. So God, please help us. Please guide us. Please help us when the uncomfortable thoughts come up. Help us when the emotions feel contradictory. Help us when we want to press against what you've asked us to do. Help us when people would like to trigger us. Help us when people would like to continue to put us down, God. Help us to remain faithful and to see you, and to also know that you're not calling us to be pressed down by people or oppressed by people, but that you are calling